Also, Angela, just so you know, the guys know as well, everything is recorded. It doesn't record you, it records me. So if you do want a copy of any of the sessions that you do, you're more than welcome to them. What I do is I actually send them via WeTransfer. So if you do want it, just let me know at the end and you can always have it to do again in the future if you would like to. Right, look, you see, Jamie at home today, so I don't think I'll be using that today. I don't think we're going to use the chair today either, so. Right, so first things first, I am going to go a tiny bit more gentle to start with. It is quite hot today as well, so limbs shouldn't be feeling too stiff because it is actually quite warm. But because it's quite warm, we're not going to do anything that's going to make you really sort of puffy and out of breath. But the first thing I'd like you to do is actually come down onto the floor, and we're going to actually start with, weirdly, with a little bit of breathing. And I'm going to ask you to engage your core quite strongly to start with, and that will set us off on the right foot. So bring yourself down, come onto your mat, towel, whatever you have. Sit, roll it down nice and slowly. And if you do have a hair bobble in, just make sure that it's not hurting your head, so your head's flat. Now, what can happen really frequently is that if you've been sitting working and probably not at a desk that's optimal, your back can sort of just get a bit spasmy as soon as you lie down. So just be careful. Feet nice and flat on the floor. And I'd like you to tilt your pelvis so it's just leaning it forwards very slightly. So you actually get rid of the gap in your back. And rest your hands where's best for you. So down here, palm facing up onto your hip bones, wherever's more comfortable. Personally, I find it on my hip bones so I can just feel what's going on. And we're just going to sit for a second and just allow your back to stop. It may ache a little bit. It may sort of try to think it's going to spasm a bit. It won't. But try and just relax. It's also quite nice to do this to get a little bit more in the mood, because you've probably had a really rushed day. So we just need to just calm our minds a little bit and just get into the sort of Pilates mindset a little bit more. So the first thing I would like you to do is actually just a couple of deep breaths, okay? We're not going to go into sort of breathing techniques as such. I just want you to just calm your mind a little bit more using your breath. So when we're doing that, it's in through your nose and out through your mouth. So if you want to just make a start, and what you'll find is that it starts sort of 1, 2, 1, 2. As you're doing this a bit more, you might go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And again. Lovely. One more time. Right, now this time, we're going to take a deep breath in and then push all of the air out. So really do it until you're like, and you have no more breath in. What that's doing is getting all of the stale air. I know it sounds disgusting, but that is exactly what it is, right at the bottom of your lungs. Because during the day, we breathe quite shallowly. So if you can just try and breathe a whole lot out until you sort of go, oh, I've got no breath left in there. That will just cleanse the whole of your lungs. So breathe in, breathe out. And again, breathe in and out. There. Lovely. Right. So that should have just basically reinvigorated the air in your lungs. So let's just have a little think about how everything's going to relax. So we're going to start actually at the top today. So your head, what I'd like you to do is understand how heavy it is. So I want you to just rock very gently from side to side. and just notice some weight to it. And also notice that it's not round. Heads aren't round. They're actually quite knobbly. And you should be able to feel all the little lumps and nooks and crannies when you're doing this. Now, I can't do it all the way down because obviously I'm going to hit the earpiece, but I want you to come all the way down and really stretch that neck. And then back up and over and all the way down the other side. So if you can get your ear to the floor or somewhere near, that's what I'm asking you to do. Up and over. That's it. Okay, and the next one, I want you to come up and over and hold it. Hold it to the side. Hold it there. So feel that neck stretching, and then up and over to the other side. Really feel that stretch. So if you can bring your ear right to the floor, should be a nice stretch for your neck as well. Okay, bring yourself up to neutral, up to center. Now take a deep breath in and just feel your head sinking into the floor. Deep breath in, sink it down. Feel heavy, heavy, heavy. Lovely. Right, so shoulders next. So bring your concentration down to your shoulders. Now they should feel fairly relaxed, but actually if you've had quite a stressful day, and I know that you four can have fairly stressful days, I don't want your shoulders right by your ears. So you're going to bring your arms up to the ceiling and really try and stretch towards the ceiling. So point your fingers right up, stretch them right to the ceiling, and we're going to lift those shoulder blades off the floor so they are clear off the floor. Feel, if your pelvis is still tilted, feel your vertebrae pressed to the mat or to the floor. So really feel that strongly on the floor. And then very, very, very slowly, I want you to release your arms back down. And what you should find is it's flattened your back, it's flattened your shoulders. Bring your arms back down. And they should be feeling nice and flat to the floor now. Just push them very slightly as if I'm just putting a gentle amount of pressure onto your shoulders. So they're just flattening back down to the mat. Lovely. Head heavy, shoulders flat. Lovely. Okay, so just bring your concentration all the way down your spine to your pelvic area now. Now, I've already asked you to tilt it, so it should be feeling fairly flat. But now I'd like you to imagine, and I'm asking you to do this quite a lot, but I've put a marble around your belly button area. And I'm going to ask you to roll that marble to one hip bone. So you're lifting the other hip bone. And then you're going to roll that marble all the way back down to the other hip bone. Now, what in effect this is doing is asking you to squeeze one glute and then the other one. So you're just going to roll your hips from one side to the other, nice and gently, not quickly. But that marble, if you can imagine it, is just swinging and rolling from one side to the other. And you should just be activating your glutes very, very slightly. That's it. Okay, bring it back to center. Take a deep breath in and then try and sink your pelvis into the floor. Breathe in, sink it down. Excellent. Okay, right, now we're going to move concentration down to your feet. So first of all, very, very forgotten about feet. Hands, we're looking at them all the time. Feet do a lot of work and we don't appreciate them. So we're just going to give them a little bit of attention. So just wiggle your toes, give them a nice wiggle. And then just rock your feet out and in. So basically your knees are coming out and back in. Give them a little rock on the floor. That's it, come back to neutral. Spread your toes, even if you've got socks on, it doesn't make a difference. Spread your toes nice and wide and bring them to the floor. Now I want you to sink, deep breath in and then sink your footprint, because it's obviously not your whole foot because you've got an arch, your footprint into the mat. So breathe in and sink the feet. And again, breathe in. Sink your feet. Lovely. Now, if you've done that properly, your whole body should feel quite heavy now. It should feel relaxed, and it should feel like you're making quite an imprint in the mat. So one deep breath in, and then really feel all of those imprints. Big deep breath in, and release. Push down into the mat. Lovely. Right, any aches and pains in your back should be loosening, that's for sure. And you should be a little bit more present in the room now. You should be thinking, right, okay, Pilates class, not any worries that I've had all day. Wonderful. Right, so once we're in this position, I'd like you to lift, we're going to lift one knee up alternately. But what I'd really like you to do is, the reason for this is it's a lower abs engagement process, okay? So don't just lift your knee without thinking. We're going to really encourage those abs to do some work. So deep breath in, and then really focus on engaging your abs. Don't lift anything yet, but just think, oh, they're on, switched on. Don't hold your breath. If you just press, and you lower right at the bottom, you should feel your muscles going, oh, okay, they're doing something now. And relax. Do that again. Breathe in. Hold it. Don't hold your breath, just hold your abs. Stick them on. Hold it there. Remember to breathe. And relax. Good. Right, now that they're sort of like, yeah, okay, we're going to do some work, aren't we? I'd like you to lift your foot. Now I want you to peel it off the floor, but nice and gently. So use your breathing. Deep breath in. Engage your lower abs, and then we're going to peel that foot off the floor. That shouldn't actually be that easy. Just a tabletop position, which is about 90 degrees. And think, okay, my abs are still engaged. My leg feels like it's floating. Hold it there. And then slowly, slowly use your abs to bring it right down to the floor, foot onto the floor, and relax. Good. That relaxing should feel quite like strong. Relax. Breathe in. Engage those abs, and then peel that foot off the floor. Peel it off the floor. Your back should be dead flat on the floor still. Use those abs. Hold it there. It's actually not an easy process, this one. Breathe, and slowly peel that foot back down onto the floor, and relax. Lovely. Right, now you're not going to like me, because we're going to do both. Now this, if you get this right, you should actually almost shake, because your abs are doing so much work. Legs are heavy, and it takes quite a lot of effort to use your core entirely to lift your legs. So we are going to take a deep breath in, and then we're going to lift both legs off the floor. So hands back onto your lower abs. Deep breath in. Engage. Peel your feet off the floor and lift into tabletop. Not easy. Keep your knees away from you and stop your back. Back should not be lifting. If it is, bring your knees closer. Use your abs entirely to hold the whole weight of your legs. Now, I do this a lot, and it's still really hard. So don't be thinking, oh, if you can't feel anything, you're not doing it right. Peel them down, feet back on the floor, relax, lovely. Right, reset yourself. So re-tilt your pelvis, making sure that your back is fully on the floor. Deep breath in, we're going to do the same. And peel your feet off, engage those abs. They are doing quite a lot of work right now. Hold them here. This is an excellent way of just engaging your abs quickly. You should be solid. You should be able to feel that. Hold it here. Remember to breathe. Back on the floor. Roll it down nice and slowly. Now, if this is starting to hurt your back, and breathe out. If it does start to hurt your back, bring your knees in closer, because the further away your knees are, the harder it is. If it is hurting your back, it's purely because your abs aren't strong enough to hold them yet, but it will happen. We're going to do it one more time. Breathe in, engage those abs, and we're peeling the heels, peel the toes, lift up into tabletop. Oh my God, hold it there. Bring your knees further in if you need to. Bring them nice and further away if you're able to. Hold it here. Breathe and slowly drop it back down. Use your abs to control. Toes, heels. Breathe out. Excellent. Wonderful. Right. Very much should feel engaged now. They've definitely done some work. So let's see if we can actually get the oblique muscles, which are the chain down the side of your ribs, which are next to your abs. They need to do some work as well now. So you should be combining any abs work that you do with obliques work as well. That will help stabilize you entirely and pull waist in. So we are going to take a deep breath in and bring both knees in, but all the way to your chest this time. So breathe in and lift. Good. Okay. So knees nice and close to you. First of all, we're just going to give little rolls, so tiny little circles. This should feel absolutely lovely in your very lower back. Tiny little circles. And tiny little circles the other way. Lovely. Right, back to center, back to neutral. Hands out to the side, nice and wide. Now, those of you who've been attending for a while, this is supine twisting, you know it well, but it is particularly difficult on your oblique muscles. So if you are finding it too hard, you can assist using your hands, which I'll show you. So we're going to just gently bring your knees down to one side. They don't have to hit the floor yet, just hover. We're hovering about halfway down. And the trick to this one is keeping your shoulders on the floor. Keep your shoulders really still. Now your hands are out to the side quite wide to help stabilize yourself. That's it, we're going to pendulum swing. And each time you come over to the side, just go a little bit lower. But what I don't want you to do is actually hit the floor. So you're using your muscles to stop yourself. And you may find it's a little bit trickier on one side than the other. And if you're lucky, you might get a little pop or crack of your back. And that's just an added extra, of which mine's just done, which is nice. Just crack your back out a bit. Now, we should be just hovering off the floor now. So don't put your legs and your knees down. And what this does is you're using your oblique muscles to bring yourself up. If you are struggling, once you're down there, then just use your hand just to push your legs back up again. I'll demo on the other side so you can see. Bring your legs down, and then just use your hands to push yourself back up. Ideally, I want you to use your oblique muscles for this because this is part of the exercise, but if it's too tough at the moment, just hover it off the floor, hold it there, and then push back up. Use your muscles to push yourself back up. This should also feel like a really lovely twist on your back, especially if you've been sat down a lot today. So hovering off the floor and push and lift. Wonderful. Okay, come back to center and just do your little circles again, just making sure your back's feeling nice and relaxed. And the other way. Good. Okay, so abs engaged, oblique muscles engaged. Back should be feeling a little bit sort of twisted out now. I'd like you to hold on to your knees because they're close. Just hold on. Now, things like bellies, boobs, and ribs kind of get in the way when you're bringing your knees in too much, but bring them in as much as you can because something will get in the way. And you should be able to feel that stretch right at the bottom, so the coccyx area, right by your your glutes basically. And just bring your knees close, and you should feel that right at the bottom. And then just bring them away. That's it. And just bring them back in again. So you're floating them in and out, nice and close. Tiny little ball. And back out again. One more, bring it in. And bring it out. Lovely. Okay, dropping our knees to the feet to the floor now. Okay, keep one leg up. And then this is a bit that's probably not going to be that easy for me to demo. I want you to bring your leg nice and straight. Now, as I have said before, this is the only time where you can actually fully straighten your leg because there isn't any weight on it. I'll never ask you to lock your leg out. You can lock your leg out entirely on this if you're able to, if your hamstrings will allow. I'd like you to try and flex your foot so it feels, if you were on the ceiling, you could put your feet flat on the ceiling. So hold the one leg there. If this is too difficult, now it's actually really quite difficult to do this. If you're shaking like a leaf and wobbling around, just use your arms and your hands to assist slightly. So you're just creating a little cradle behind them. Try really hard not to actually put it behind your kneecap though, just underneath. Now with that foot, we're going to point and flex. This is actually quite difficult. Just be aware of cramping. It shouldn't cramp, but it might. Point and flex. This is actually going to make it a little bit harder. So if you don't want to do that with your foot and it's too hard, just leave your feet where they are. Point and flex. One more. Point and flex. Lovely. Bend your knee, and then you're bringing that back down to the floor. So we're going to swap legs. Bring your leg up, lift, out. Oh. Not as pathetically as me. So lift it up. I can hear you lot laughing. So flex and pointing your foot. Remember, you can use your hands to keep your leg up there. Flex and point. Good. Keep your leg as straight as you can. And as I said, you can lock it out. Oh. If you have got hold of your leg using your arms, try and relax your shoulders because they kind of want to get involved and they're not. Just relax them back down to the floor. Flex and point. One more. Flex and point. Good. Okay, release your leg, bend your knee, and bring your foot back down to the floor. Lovely. Right, little teeny wriggle. Okay, fantastic. Right, so I want to have a little bit more of a look at your vertebrae and just make sure that they're feeling relaxed out. They should be, because you've been on the floor for a length of time, it should be feeling quite relaxed out now. So I'd like you to lengthen your legs entirely. So we'll do a little pencil stretch. So lengthen your legs. You may need to just fiddle about a bit and just make sure that you're feeling comfortable again, because glutes get in the way. And then your arms up and back. Now, again, this looks like a very, very simple stretch, but it's actually quite hard because you're lengthening your whole body out. And if you haven't done this at all today, it will be quite strong. So as if I've put you on a rack, breathe in, really stretch. So point your toes and point your fingers and really stretch to either side of the wall. That's it. Your back will arch. And then bring it back down. Now we're going to get the breath involved. Breathe in, really stretch, and breathe out. Push your back to the floor. Try and get rid of that gap. Breathe in. Create the gap and breathe out. Push it down there. You can feel your abs really having to do some work here. Breathe in. And push down. Use those abs. Push it down. One more. Breathe in. And push it down. Lose the gap. Excellent. Good. Rolling your arms up and back over. So you should be back to just relax now. Just relax entirely. Okay. So we have been in this position for a little bit. I would like you to take one leg and just hook your hand underneath back of your leg, lift your head, and we're just going to roll back up nice and slowly. Please give yourself a second, because we have been down there for a bit. Okay, just let yourself balance again and steady. I'd like you to cross your legs if it's comfortable to do so, and then just ensure that your feet aren't overlapping, because if they do, it just means that your knee can't come down to the floor. So 1 foot right in and 1 foot slightly less in. And then what I want you to do is just wriggle your bum backwards until you're sitting right up on your sit bones. Okay, so you're nice and tall. And I'd like you to roll your shoulders really nice and wide shoulder, okay? Not some little tiny thing, really roll them and straighten that back out. That's it. So your back is nice and straight, you're sitting nice and tall, really rolling those shoulders. Right now, roll them the other way, up and back. That's it. And one more, up and back, lovely. Let your knees really flop out to the side. Now, for some, I know that's not easy, but just try and release and relax your hips as much as possible. Okay, so back nice and straight, shoulders feeling, hopefully, just nice and relaxed. So just to help, I'm going to turn back to the side so you can see what I'm doing, just to help with the people who have been sat at desks all day and probably not with the correct posture. So we've got bum cheeks out of the way, nice and straight with your back. Roll your shoulders back and down. So keep them really nice and low. And then with your head, I want you to bring your chest, your chin to your chest. So hands are to the side. Really feel that stretch. Hold it there. And bring your head back up and relax. Let's do that again. So your back is still nice and straight. And then you're going to roll your shoulders back and down and drop your head down. Really relax. Good. And bring your head up. Now, that shouldn't actually be that easy, because if you've got quite a lot of stress there, that should be quite a strong movement. Right. Okay, let's see what this plane of movement does. So hand up nice and tall to the ceiling. That's it. And then we are leaning over. Keep both bum cheeks on the floor. Feel beautiful and balletic. And then up. Steve. Beautiful. All the way up, other side, and all the way over. That's it. Lovely. And up and over again. Wonderful. And up and all the way over again. Beautiful. Okay, come back up to center. Hands in front of you. Right, that spine. Let's curl it down. Hands in front of you. Go as low as you can go, even if that's here. Okay, you just bring yourself down and go as low as you can go. Drop your head. If you can reach the floor with your head, reach the floor with your head. If you can't, don't worry. Just come as low as you can and arch that back. Deep breaths. Good. Nice and slowly roll your way out of that. Creeping your hands back up again. Now we're going to bring our hands round to the back. And again, I'm just going to swap to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Hands behind you. Try to not let your chin or your head drop backwards. So we're going to push our shoulder blades together, lift your chest, but keep your chin towards your chest. And it should arch your back slightly, but you should feel that right around the front, assist your shoulders. Deep breath in, really fill your lungs. Back down, one more deep breath in. Arch your back and bring yourself back forwards again. Right, so all planes should be feeling really good now. So we've come to the side, we've gone to this way, we've gone backwards and forwards. Now I'd like to actually roll onto the vertebrae. So we're going to do a little roll. So if you want to bring your legs together and just come slightly further forward, so you've got some space behind you. Now, Angela in particular, this one's not so easy, okay? So if you are finding it a little bit tricky, just come down and do little tiny rocks. But what we're going to do is hold on to your knees and just take your feet off the floor, and then we're going to do a little roll and back up. Now, the momentum should bring you back up again, but it should feel very, very nice on your back. It should feel real massage all the way down each vertebrae. If you don't feel like that, then come back onto your back and just do some little rolls and rocks. But this is all the way back, up onto your neck and all the way back down again, okay? Just keep going. Click, 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 click. There may be a couple of clicks and cracks and pops as long as they're not sharp stabbing pain. That's not what we want. Now, for the more advanced in the room, in the class, if you want to hold it backwards, so release and hold, okay, by all means do that. It's part shoulder balance. Come all the way back, hold it. Now, if you really want to, you can straighten your legs, bring your feet back and hold it here, and then bring it back again. And one more, whatever you're doing, all the way back, and release yourself out of that. Wonderful. Okay, everyone's backs should be feeling a damn sight better than they were now, because we've done all sorts of planes of movement to ensure that you are fully stretched out. Shoulders should be feeling good and not by your ears anymore. Core should be feeling very engaged, and the back of your legs should be feeling nice and stretched out, unless you're my legs and you're not. I want to work a little bit more on the core. So we're going to go a tad more advanced with the core. And if you, again, are struggling because you haven't done any core work for a while, then you do your best and do what you can. I'll give you the regress version if you need it. So first of all, we are going to hold a V-sit position, okay? And it is a bent leg V-sit position. I'll give you the more advanced if you'd like it. So we're going to rock back and try and take your feet off the floor. If you want to use your hands on the floor, then please do. If you could avoid your hands on the floor because it's harder, then I'd like you to do that. Okay, so it's a balance. And I want you to keep your feet off the floor, back nice and straight. And if you're able to do that, I'd like you to do that. Okay, so you're not holding on. Now, what you'll find is your core has to do a lot of work, but so do your hip flexors here. Okay, they are having to hold your leg weight. Legs are heavy. It doesn't matter whose legs, they're heavy. Hold it there. Now, again, if you've got this right, you should be mildly shaking. If you want to advance this more, bring your knees away from you and your back further down, okay? Now, I'm shaking like a leaf now. You might not be able to see that, but if you want to make it easier, it's here. If you want to make it easier again, hold on to your knees. If you want to make it easier again, hold on to the floor, okay? So you've got lots of iterations there, and the most advanced is down here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down. Bring yourself back up. Wonderful. Woof. Okay. So that's our first one. Now, if you were doing the advanced one and you're like, it wasn't that bad, you should be shaking. So to get that right, you should actually be shaking. It shouldn't be that easy. But if you'd really like to push yourself, the advanced version is with your legs straight. Okay. So I will demo, and I'll demo for about 3 seconds, and that's it. Because I find this really hard on my hamstrings, I'm going to cope. So bring yourself back. So if that's advanced enough, you're like, yeah, great. Then straighten your legs, okay? So straightening your legs will make the whole thing a damn sight harder. And if you do straighten your legs, you might need to lean back a little bit further. And I'm totally shaking. holding it, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your legs if you have got them straight, bring yourself down and back up. Oh my God, that was about the wobbliest demo I could ever do. Whew. Right, little tiny rocks to the side. Good. Okay, we're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to do something slightly different with it. So get into the position that you'd like to, whatever advancement. If you've done something advanced, it's a bit too sore now, rein it back. If you're thinking, yep, I can do this, then go for it. So leaning back and hold the position that you'd like to go for. If you're finding it easy, push away further. Find that point. Excellent. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet down. Bring yourself forwards. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. Now, to do something additional with this, it involves basically a sit-up. So I'm going to show you the very, very basic version. So your feet are on the floor, and I want your hands in front of you. And then when you lean back, we're just going to lean all the way back. So all the way back, arms up to the ceiling, and then bring them forwards, head up, lift up. Now, it's a very, very simple sit-up, but I want you to slow it down. Okay, so we're not doing like I would do in the gym, back and forth, back and forth. We're doing a Pilates style sit-up. So it is slow. Tilt the pelvis, roll it down, arms up, nice stretch to the ceiling, bring it back, head up, lift up. Very controlled and very flowing. Don't jerk yourself up and flop yourself back. Now you'll notice I'm really tilting the pelvis here and you are curling it. What I really don't want you to do is splat it backwards. Don't have a straight back. When you're coming down, curl it down. So you should feel the lower vertebrae hit the floor first before the upper. Now, that's the simple version. So we're going to start and do a few of those, see how you get on, and then we can advance if you'd like to. So hands in front of you, legs bent, but they don't have to be up here. Okay, that's very hard. Just keep them long-ish. The longer your legs are, the easier this is. So if you want to push them straight, then it will make it easier. Roll and curl it down. Arms up. Breathe. Lift forwards. Lift your head and curl your way up. Lovely. And again, we're going to do 3. Curl it down. Wonderful. Lift up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Head up and lift. Wonderful. One more. Slow it down. Nice and slow. Lose your tummy as a break. Lift. Breathe. Head up. Breathe out. Lift. Wonderful. Nice and slowly. Beautiful if you manage that. Now, to advance that more, try lifting one leg off the floor. So if you can see me, just lift a leg. Okay? Lift one. Keep it there. Keep it there. Don't move it. Roll it down. Keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it there. Breathe. And lift. Breathe out. Good. You've got to hold it. Your hip flexor will start complaining very shortly. We're going to do 3 each side. So lift. Breathe. Head up. Breathe out. And last one. Roll it down. Breathe in. Keep your leg where it is. Muscles having to do some work. Lift, 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 lift. Breathe out. And put that foot down. Woo! Now, if you did that right, your hip flexor right in here should be like, oh my God. Okay, other side. One side will feel probably more difficult than the other one. This is probably my easier one. So roll it down. Keep your leg dead still. Head up and lift. And again, down, roll down, roll down, roll down. Up. Lift. And one more. Roll it down. Up. And lift. Beautiful. If you manage that, fantastic. Right. If that's hard enough and you just want to carry on with a few more simple sit-ups, absolutely fine, because they are hard enough as it is, especially when you go at that pace. If you want to make it harder, I know you know what I'm going to say. We're lifting both legs, okay? When you lift both legs, you've really got to concentrate on balance just as much as what your core is doing and what your hip flexors are doing. Because if you get it wrong, you just splat down. So I will show you. So first we'll get into the V position that we were doing. Okay, so that's your first balance. Then you're going to roll it down, arms up, lift, and roll it back up. Okay, so your back's got to do quite a lot of work to curl, and your core is doing a hell of a lot of work to keep you up there, and your hip flexors are doing the work to keep your legs up there. So it's not the easiest. We're going to try 3. If you can attempt 1 and fail, just put your feet back down. It's no problem. Give it a go though if you're feeling brave and think you can achieve it. So start with your hold, and then you're going to curl your back, roll it down, arms up, arms back, lift your head and lift it back up. Good, so you're back into your balance. Roll it down. Please be reminded this isn't easy, okay? So if you can't do it, please don't worry. And lift. 1 more. If, however, you are doing this, bloody well done. And lift. 3, 2, 1, feet down, and bring your hands down. Very, very good. Right, to get yourself out of this, because your hip flexors are probably feeling a little bit now, we're going to spin over, and we're going to do something called a little dog wag. So bring your feet up, bring your knees together, and we're just going to, like a puppy tail, give yourself a little break on this. Good. Okay, the other way to do is a child's pose, which is fairly good for absolutely everything, to be honest. Feet together, knees further apart, and sit back if you're able to. It's not going to hurt your knees. Onto your heels, and then you're going, oh, dog's joining us. And then you're going to hinge forwards and bring your arms out and stretch your hands to the end of the mat as much as you can, and then last drop your head. Right, 3 deep breaths here. So breathe in and sink down and feel those shoulders and your hips stretching out. And again, breathe in and relax. Breathe in, relax. Good. Nice and slowly curl your way up out of that one. Good. Right. Regarding timing, we're going to finish with, it is core, on all 4s. We're going to do some Superman variations. So, on all 4s, and just first of all, make sure that you feel equal, okay? So there's not too much pressure on your wrists, there's not too much pressure on your knees. Usually what people do is they put too much pressure on their knees. So just make sure that you feel equal amongst each 4 of the things that are on the floor. So, and then the other thing is that you don't feel weighted towards either your left or your right. So just give it a little rock from one side to the other, just making sure that you feel equal across both. Okay, so we're going to start with lifting one hand up and straight. Okay, so when you do this, they might feel a little bit of pressure on the other hand. So if you're feeling too much pressure, just sit back slightly. If you're feeling too much pressure on your knees, bring it forwards a little bit, okay? Keep that back dead straight as if I could put my dinner on it. Bring your hand back down. Swapping hands, so just swap weight. Try really hard to keep that tummy pulled in. It's got to do some work to keep you balanced. Arm out. That's it, keep it there. Think about your wrist. And then bring it back down. That's it. Okay, rebalance. Now we're going to do exactly the same with the legs. So what I'd like you to do is not straighten your leg. Okay, so we're keeping your leg bent. So choose a leg. We're doing both, so it doesn't matter. Put the weight on the other knee and keep your leg bent. And we're going to bring that foot up to the ceiling and your knee out. Hold it here. Get your glutes to do some work. Core's done a lot of work today. Might focus on the glutes next week. Okay, come to the other side. So reshift your weight. Lift it up, foot to the ceiling, leg and knee out. Hold it there. Keep your tummy. Don't let your back sink. I don't want your back starting doing that. Sink. Keep it up. And back down. And rebalance. Right. Now you know what we're going to do. We're going to do one of each. So opposite, please, opposite, not the same. So engage your core, lift your hand, lift your knee, and then you're shooting your hand out and your foot up. Hold it here. If it's too hard, you're wobbling around, just put a hand down. Hold it here, hold it here. Get your core feels nice and tight. Okay, hand and knee down at the same time. Lovely, rebalance. And hand up, knee up, and shoot them out and up. Now, whilst you're balancing here, just think about your core. Your core is the thing doing the work here. Keep yourself balanced. Concentrate. And 3, 2, 1, hand and knee down. Lovely. Now, if that's hard enough and you're like, I'm not doing that, I'm not advancing that anymore, then do the same thing again. If you are feeling that that wasn't too bad and you are feeling balanced, now we're going to try the same side. Just pre-warning you, it is a lot harder. So if you were fairly wobbly, just do the same thing again, okay? Opposite. So choose one side and then take your hand and your foot off. And then you're going to shoot them out and up. Use your core. And 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Well done if you managed that. That's not easy. Right, now it's the other side. Now, if you chose your dominant side, which is what I did, this one might be a little bit tougher. I don't know how well this is going to go. That's it. Keep everything nice and tight. Concentrate on what you're doing. And 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Excellent. If you managed that, very, very well done. Going straight into the puppy wag again, so just keep everything nice and loose. Well done, everyone. Really very good. Okay, right. So I will never ever ask you just to stand up. Okay, so we always roll up out of all of this. But this time we are going to roll up, but I'm going to ask you to split your legs and roll up so you get a little bit more of a stretch on your inner thighs. So you stay where you are. I'm just going to move so you can see what I'm doing. So I want you to put your hands down and tuck your toes under, and then we're going to rock onto your toes. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is actually put your head down and your bum up, and again, of which I'll turn to the side so you can see. And we're going to get that nice stretch down the back of your legs, but then we're going to split our legs. So head down, bum up. Try to hold onto the floor as long as you can. And straighten your legs at the top. If you are still holding onto the floor, fantastic. If you're not, don't worry. Hold it down here. Good. Now, before we roll up, I want you to bend your legs slightly and actually split them. Okay? So you've split your legs, straighten them again. So your hands are more likely to be towards the floor or on the floor now because your legs are further apart. Drop your head and hold it here. Deep breath. Really hold it down here. Now, if you can, I want you to bring your hands through. So through the gap, just point your fingers and drop your head down. Now that should feel the back of your legs, yes, but it should be your inner thighs as well. Just get a really good stretch before we stand up. Good, bring your hands back to center. Just very slightly unlock your legs, and they shouldn't be bent, but just not dead straight, and roll it up. Oh my God, back of my legs. Roll it up, curl it up, stack your vertebrae. Your head is last, and you're standing up. So we should be in, if you stay there, this position. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath in and jump it in. 1, 2, 3, jump. Lovely. Okay, just give your legs a little shake. Excellent. Right, so we're going to finish as we always do. Just give me 1 second with some little sweeps. So hip width apart with your legs, and then we're going to come down all the way up. If you can, squeeze your glutes and lift up onto your balls of your feet. And again, a couple more all the way down. Take a deep breath in and lift if you can. Balance required. Good. 1 more all the way down. Very good. All the way up and lift. Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. Been an absolute pleasure this evening. Just give me 1 second. I'll take you off of mute. Good. How are we feeling all?
Very good.
How was the level? Was it okay, Angela?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't go too tough today, but actually there's some of the things in there were a little bit stronger. So hopefully it was relatively core heavy. Sometimes I go relatively glutes heavy. But once we've figured out what everyone's got, then I can start adding that in. So I know the other guys, and there's a couple of people missing today. They've all got resistance bands. So if you could dig out your resistance bands, Angela, that would be fantastic.
If you can send me a link, if there's
fantastic. I will. Yeah, I will do that. And then you don't really need loads of other things because some of them are like household things anyway. And that's subject to you coming back next week, my darling.
No, I mean, I don't know why it's taken 20 weeks or whatever since we finished work, but finally, I think it's the people at work being on holiday that I can finish at 5 on a Thursday.
Excellent.
Are you doing any yoga?
Iffy's doing yoga.
Okay.
So I've got, I'm just about to put her yoga up on the system.
Okay.
It's not Wyro's one, it's her one. But you can absolutely go via the site to get to her one.
Yeah, I just thought both would probably be beneficial. So.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do slightly different things. Hers is very much more, sort of a lot more mindfulness and holding positions. I tend not to hold positions as much, but I suppose mine's more concentrating on core and a little bit more. She doesn't really do glutes work as such. It would be holding positions and making sure that, strength is definitely there, but it's not quite the same. So hopefully, you will find you'll get 2 different things from the 2 different classes.
And when will that be? Rebecca, do you remember?
I'll have to check when her sessions are. She sent me a link. I need to put them up. I can't
if you send it out, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, of course. Now the other thing, guys, I have put this out, but I'm going to send you a newsletter because it's going to be August. Is for your sessions, I've done monthly passes now. So you can purchase a monthly pass and it's cheaper than going in every week because, well, apart from Angela, obviously, most people are coming every week. So I just wanted to make it easier for you. So if you just click the monthly pass for whatever, obviously Pilates on this one, but whatever you want to do, they've all got monthly passes now. So if you want to do that, you pretty much come every week. There is still the pay-as-you-go one, but then there's also the monthly one. So you can do either now, but it just makes it a little bit more cost efficient if you are coming every week anyway. So that's an option for you. The classes will always remain online, regardless of when I'm bringing them back into the gym as well. I have had a few requests of, when are you coming back to the gym? When are they coming back to the gym? I'm like, not yet. We're going to take another review of it in September, because more people will be back in the office, and also I think it hopefully, unless we get locked down again, it will be loosened a little bit more, so I can actually have more people in the same room at the same time. But I'm not doing that yet, so it will remain online currently. Any other questions from what we did today? Everyone feeling okay?
That's really good, thank you.
Yeah.
You're absolutely welcome.
I'll tell you how I feel tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be like, okay, I can feel that in my abs. But, you know, no bad thing. It just needs slightly twinge a little bit in the morning. Any other questions during the week, just let me know. And I will see you hopefully next week, or if not before, in another session. All right, guys. Thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Take care, my lovelies.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.